Hi, I'm Kelly Eckhard, and welcome to another episode of Chit Chat Friday. Today I have a very special guest. I have Emily from DoodleMoo. Thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you.
Now today we're going to talk about Emily, what she's doing, her business DoodleMoo, and she also has a new graphic design agency up on the side. So we're going to talk about that as well. But first off, I want to ask Emily, so tell me about yourself and your background and how you got from where you were to where you are now with your business.
Okay. Hi, I'm Emily and I have a business called DoodleMoo. It's my brand where I design prints, art prints, and prints for kids, prints for the family home. It's all about being playful and like sharing the space for kids, for families, basically. And I also have a few accessories, and I am a graphic designer, and I studied illustration as well, and I design for my design studio called Loro Studio.
Nice.
It's a new studio, and yeah, I'm originally from Venezuela, and I grew up in England and Venezuela, so I was born here. My parents are Venezuelan. Yeah.
And so how long has DoodleMoo been going for then?
Okay, so properly going for, I would say, 2 years.
Nice. And so how did you come up with the concept for DoodleMoo? What was that one? I mean, did you have all of a sudden you were like lying in bed and you're like, you know what, I think I want to do this, or how did it kind of come about?
I suppose, yeah, it wasn't that sudden. It was we started when I had Leo.
Mm-hmm.
We started to make things for his bedroom.
Yeah.
And then we started to sell prints, or make a few prints for families and friends. And then they said, why don't you sell? And then we had a few orders. And then I think we called it Guesswork first.
Nice.
Guesswork Collective. And then we changed to DoodleMoo because we're always doodling and doodling ideas, and it comes from a doodle. So everything comes from like a little drawing that we then turn into a final piece. So that's how. So then we decided to make it a business.
Yeah.
And change to DoodleMoo, and tie it all in with. And then I started to make prints that weren't only for children but for grown-up spaces as well.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like, so like we've evolved a little bit from the beginning to now.
Nice.
And then now, we're combining a bit of typography design with illustration, with images, because before it was very much image-based.
Yeah.
And now it's a bit more, I've got some typographic pieces, and it's all about colour and fun, and that's how it's come.
What's your number one seller? What are people really drawn to with your product at the moment? Are you finding kind of a trend within it, or?
Yeah, I think definitely the typographic is a big trend right now. People love prints that say something.
Yeah.
So it's the Yay print, which is a really happy print.
Yeah, that's lovely.
With sprinkles. That's been a really popular one.
Yeah.
And my new one, Te Amo, which is I love you in Spanish, has been quite popular too.
Nice.
And that's quite simple, but it's quite strong in the sense that it's, I suppose, it's the typography, that the letters are quite strong, so it appeals, and it can go in any room as well. So I feel like, typographic is definitely working now a lot. But my illustration ones for kids are very popular too.
Yeah,
so.
I like them a lot.
Yeah.
They're really, really nice. I love the fact that they're really bright as well.
Yeah.
Like I love the heart one that you have. That's really bright.
Oh, the heart with the rainbow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is quite popular as well. Quite a few. I think, when there's like a really strong image, people get drawn to it.
Yeah.
And it says lots of things to different people.
Exactly.
Which is nice.
And it's easy to kind of fit in every kind of room. And for kids as well, I mean, you can put it in your living room, you can also put it in your kids' room, which is really nice. And you don't have to think much about it. It's just bright and beautiful, and you're like, okay, that's easy.
Yeah,
It's making it easy for people. So from the beginning of an illustration or design, how does that work for you? Do you come up with the initial design and then you kind of change it up, over a few times, or how does the design process work for you?
Okay, so it depends with different ones, but sometimes I get an idea. So like, for example, I say, I don't know, I want to make a heart picture, and then I start trying to think what elements I can bring in to make it more interesting, or a bit different. I kind of like to add a little quirky something in there most of the time.
Yeah.
So I doodle a few ideas, and then I scan that and take it into the computer, and then I start. I normally go with a little idea already of how it's going to look.
Yeah.
So then rework it in the computer, and then it's easy to play with colors and play with shapes sometimes if you're not totally happy.
Yeah.
But yeah, generally I've got a book full of like little drawings, and lots of things don't get to a finished piece.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I just go off the idea, or it doesn't quite work in the same way in the way I wanted.
Yeah.
Or sometimes so when I did the heart with the lightning bolt and the rainbow, I wanted to have a series for it. So a rainbow series with the rainbow paddle.
Nice.
So the first idea was the heart, and then I needed to make something that worked as much as the first one.
Yeah.
So then that's when again I tried to think of fun ideas that can be part of that, and then that's kind of how the cloud with the raindrops was born, and then the ice lolly that is also with sprinkles, and so it was part of a series. So it's all kind of from like a little idea, then you doodle it, then it becomes other things, I guess. So evolves. Or sometimes it's from like a conversation with Chris, or sometimes an image that I see somewhere and then it stays in your mind, but not quite the same. It's basically something that sparks the idea. So I don't know, say one rainbow, and then you turn it into a rainbow paddle, which is not the same, but you got
to get inspiration from everywhere, don't you? And
I think everywhere. Or like even a song or something that people said, some colors that are trends that you're like, I'm gonna
take this.
On that. I suppose it's all about reappropriation. It's not like there's nothing totally new.
Yeah.
But you can rework things to within your own style, keeping like our bold lines. We're pretty much of like simple lines and bold lines and like plain backgrounds and things like that.
Yeah. Now tell me, how is it having your own business and being a mother? How do you balance it out? Do you have certain days that you work, what's your work week like? How do you do it?
Oh, okay, so that is
that's always a good question, isn't it?
That's probably the trickiest thing. Because I work from home.
Yeah.
So you're always thinking about your job and what you're gonna make, and you always have your computer. So I have my studio in my front room. So it's so easy just to go to the computer and do more and do more.
Yeah.
So I have to make the best of my morning time, which is when the boys are at school, and I work probably from about 9 to 3.
Yeah. When
I don't have other things to do, try to concentrate and jump pack everything. Then the boys come back. Then we do homework, or we do activities, and then most evenings I sit down at least for a little bit to work on something or answer emails or plan for the next day, it's quite tricky, but I feel like now that the boys are at school I have a lot more time.
Yeah.
And then we make sure we have some activities in the weekend that we don't have to involve work, but you're always thinking about it in the back of your mind.
Yeah, completely.
Like, you know, maybe you're at an exhibition with your kids and your family and you're thinking what you're going to do next, and so it's always, I don't think you switch off when you have your own business, really.
No.
Ever.
You don't.
So, and my husband says, you know, like, put the phone away. That's another thing that now with social media, we have so much, so it's so easy just to do phone all the time and do stories or do Instagram, and so he says I should set the boundaries and separate things.
Yeah.
But
it's difficult.
It's hard.
It's so hard
very
to do.
hard. But yeah, we get there. Even my boys sometimes say, put the phone away.
Oh, I get that all the time from my daughter. Mama, are you paying attention to me? Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at your phone? I'm like, I can do many things at once, honey.
Exactly. Or even if he's taking photos of them, they're like, what are you doing? Why? No photos.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Now tell me about, because you do graphic design on the side of DoodleMoo, and tell me, you've just set up a new design studio, and what's the name of that again?
It's Loro Studio.
Okay.
And it means parrot.
Ooh, cool.
And I can tell you the story.
Yes, tell me. That sounds great. Tell me the story.
So when I used to work in design with this friend of mine who was kind of my art director, I wouldn't stop talking. So he called me Loro, and then I called him Loro because he wouldn't stop talking. So we were both like chatting all the time. So when I was looking for a name, I was looking everywhere, thinking maybe Japanese name or something name, and nothing was kind of coming up that made sense. And then I saw a sign saying Loro, and I was like, that's my name. That's totally
awesome.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
And, and if you don't know me, I might seem a bit quiet, but when you know me, I do chat quite a lot. So so I don't stop talking. Yeah. So that's why. So it's Loro Studio.
Okay. And what kind of...
Oh, and also I forgot to say, it's also a connection with me being from Venezuela, because there's so many parrots. It's like quite a tropical country, so we have lots of parrots there. So I thought those two connections. I kind
That's
of
great. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's a bit of my South American side.
Amazing. And so, design work. Describe the kind of design work. Will you do anything, or is there certain things that you really like to enjoy working on?
Yeah, I think Laura. I think branding, logo design, branding. I really like. I really love, like, I've done a few jobs for businesses that are starting. Yeah. So that's really good fun because you start from nothing, but generally people have a little idea of what they want. Yeah. So it's like working together with them to get something nice going. And I just really love the fact that you make something for someone and they love it. Yeah. Well, hopefully love it. Generally love it.
Most of the time, yes.
And and developing the branding is really good. I would like to, I'm doing more, a little bit of visualization for social media as well. Nice. And graphic elements and I worked a lot in publications, so I want to get into publications as well. Amazing. With my design studio. Cool. Yeah.
Now, you had mentioned to me that you also have a YouTube channel.
Oh,
Describe, talk about this, and what's the name of the YouTube channel, and what is it about, and...
Okay, so my YouTube channel started because I make DIY projects for kids. So as part of my brand, DoodleMoo, we started to design little free printables that you can download from our website and make with your children. And the idea is that we get the parents to get creative with the kids, and the kids enjoy that time with the parents, and it's what I love doing with my kids, and they love doing it with me. So at the beginning I was giving instructions, but I feel like people don't have a lot of time to read or get bored by reading, so I felt like it would be fun to make a video of how I make it, and also show people how easy it is to make. Yeah. And so I said, okay, I'm going to start a YouTube channel, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it.
Amazing.
And then I started to watch videos about how to make them, and I made my first one, which was very simple, very basic, but it came out really well. And then I made another one with my hands, making the printable. And then the next one I did, I thought it would be fun to include my kids, because then you can also see how they enjoy it, and how they make the printable, and how they get excited. And it's also quite funny, because sometimes Phoenix has funny things like Nick chocolates, because generally I have chocolates to put in and things. So he's like the funniest. So, and then Leo's very serious, you know, he takes it all very kind of seriously, and they're very excited to be famous. So yeah, so I thought it was, so that's part of my business now. And so I promote my YouTube video through, I put the new ones up on my website.
Yeah.
And you can download the printables from there, and you can maybe find me through YouTube as well. And yeah, so, and it goes with our ethos, which is playful family homes, you know, playful times with the kids, and getting people to get creative. So yeah.
How can you encourage, I mean, this is going along with YouTube videos and what your brand is about. What are some tips for parents to, how can they get creative with their kids? Because some parents aren't naturally creative or can't sit down, and how would you suggest they start off doing it? Because kids most likely love, you know, crafty things and drawing and things like that. What would you suggest would be the easiest way to begin or start?
I think maybe have a little plan beforehand.
Yeah.
So something that they can make, get them excited, because whenever I have a new printable, I get the boys excited about it, and then I show them, and then they're really into that frame of mind.
Yeah.
So if you're like, and also set them a little environment as well, so that they can be free and not worry too much about a bit of mess or this here and there, and like guide them, but let them also, you know, be themselves. Like I really like my little boy gets really annoyed when he gets out of the line, but I keep saying that it doesn't matter. It's you know, that he has to enjoy it and try again.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that's kind of why I do the printables, because if you don't know what to make with the kids, you can just download these things and make them.
Yeah.
You know, so or just even if it's a bit of paint and a bit of like cardboard boxes, they would just get on with it and do something. But I suppose if they have that little time and environment to be free.
Yeah.
And I think one of the best tips is to make things in the summer outside.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to get a mess
inside.
What else? I think there's lots of ideas. Like I had this little video of making like a potion on a bottle.
Yeah.
And it's super easy. It's just water, glitter, and the top. And someone said, "Oh, but I'm not creative at all. Like I can't do that with my kids." And it's just very simple. And sometimes you give 3 things to the kids, and they just make something.
Yeah.
So you don't even have to tell them what to. Just encourage them to be kind of free with their.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what comes out. Like when we're adults, we get all these things about not being able to do things which kids just don't think about. So I think creativity in kids is just there.
Yeah.
So it should be encouraged a lot.
It should be, exactly.
I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what are your tips for women out there that want to start their own business? What are your top tips for starting it, and what have been some of your challenges, and how can you encourage women to just do it? Because I know, I mean, there's so many things that you think about before you do it, and you get really nervous, and you just kind of have to do it, and you learn as you go along. And so what have you learned, and what are your encouraging words?
I think when I started, I thought just by doing nice pictures or cool illustrations or cool prints, you could make a business, and actually you have to learn and do a lot of other things.
Yeah.
Like marketing, like know who you're talking to, know who your customers are, having a system of some sort. So I would just say, think a little bit about your branding and who you are talking to, I suppose. But I would say just do it. But a little bit of preparation, I guess, beforehand.
Yeah.
Because I went a bit innocently into a business. I think like I was a designer and all of that, but I didn't know lots of the side of the business that you have to learn and do. So I've done a lot of courses, a lot of webinars, a lot of like chatting to other people. I think a bit of advice from people, like, you know, and thinking about the finances side of it.
Yeah.
Even managing your time. But I feel like there was a time where I didn't have a website, and I was thinking about it, and I spoke to someone, and I was giving all these excuses, and he just looked at me and said, just start it, and just go for it, and just do it. There's no excuses. So if you're thinking of like lots of excuses, why not? Just do it, start, maybe take a bit of advice beforehand, but just go for it, I suppose.
Because you learn, I guess, exactly. Well, you learn as you go, right? Because you could start, you could have in your mind kind of what your website's going to look like, what your business is going to be, but sometimes you start to realize that it doesn't go in that direction, it goes in a totally different direction.
Yeah.
It's good to have a plan, but I think it's good when you're starting off to also be flexible, because you never know that you might get this customer from way out somewhere, and I didn't even know that they would like my product. And then you start catering to a whole different kind of crowd than you thought you would have.
Yeah.
So I think it's good to be flexible as well.
Yeah.
Like you said, you kind of evolved, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely evolved. Definitely learned a lot.
Yeah.
And I did a mini business course as well, which helped a lot.
Yeah.
Socializing.
Yeah.
Networking, meeting people is really important because well, you feel like you're in a sea by yourself otherwise. So it's so nice to meet and like learn from so many other people and how they're doing things. But I think there's a lot of free advice out there and a lot of free webinars and things that make you, you know, help you learn things that you might be less aware in your business.
Yeah.
So I suppose that is like a really good thing to seek out for.
Yeah.
And I think a really strong branding from the beginning is quite
Completely.
good.
Yeah.
For many people, they think it's just a logo, but actually the whole of your branding, like the way you speak through, you know, through your marketing. Yeah.
Now, when you're designing, do you listen to music?
Always, unless I'm writing, when I'm designing, always, music is so important. But not when I'm like doing the admin or...
Yeah, you concentrate.
Concentration. Yeah. But there's always music going.
And do you have, what kind of music do you listen to, and what are your favourite? Do you have some favourite bands at the moment that you just absolutely love, or?
Well, I listen to kind of a little bit like alternative indie bands. I listen to lots of different. Yeah. I normally put Spotify, and there's a Discover Weekly.
Oh, I love, that's what I listen to all the time too.
Picks amazing stuff.
They do. It's a great way to discover new music. I love it.
And I kind of put it, so whenever I hear one that I think, okay, that could go to my compilation, I just put in my compilation. So sometimes I'm like so busy that I'm not actually looking to who it is. Yeah. And then I look afterwards. So, but yeah.
Nice. I love music too, and when I came in today to chat with Emily, she had some really good music on, so I was like, oh, she likes to listen to music.
So we like
this is good, I really like this. I'm just going to ask you 10 quick questions. Okay. And you just shout out what comes to mind first. Okay. Beer or cocktail?
Cocktail, definitely.
Black or white?
I think black in the winter, white in the summer.
Very nice. City or country?
City, although I live in the country, but not because of my choice. City, definitely city girl.
Savory or sweet? That's a hard one, isn't it?
Hard. I think I like savory and sweet. Both.
Yeah,
I'm
both is
both.
okay. Both is
Yeah.
good. Plaid or stripes?
What's that?
Plaid or stripes?
Stripes?
Stripes. Plants or flowers?
Oh gosh, both.
Both. Good. Vintage or modern?
I think I'm more of a bit modern.
Modern. Good. I can see that. Summer or winter?
Summer, definitely.
God, I'm so
I
with
get
you.
So sad in the winter.
Yeah, me too.
I-
And being from Venezuela
Yeah,
as well, it
exactly.
must be
Yeah.
really hard. Cake or ice cream? Or both together?
Cake in the winter, ice cream
In the summer. I like this. And heels or trainers?
Oh, again, heels for when I go out.
Yeah.
I love heels because I'm quite small. So I really like an outfit has to have heels.
Yeah.
And then actually I don't use that many trainers.
Okay.
But in England,
Yeah.
of course, I've become more of a trainer sort of person. For my everyday.
Yeah.
For going to school
Yeah.
run.
Exactly.
As a mom.
Yeah. You can discover Emily at, is it your Instagram tag?
DoodleMoo _ moo.
Great. And website?
And the website is www.doodlemoo.com.
Great.
And my design studio is laurastudio.co.uk and Laura Studio in Instagram.
Brilliant. And I will also have these all at the end of the video so you can look up. Thank you very much for being here with me
That's
today. I
okay.
really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. And until next time, see you soon.